Excellent. Okay, beautiful ladies, we are so excited to have you here for this special course preview of the Raw Courage Coaching Program. This is more than a webinar. It is an invitation to explore what's possible when you allow courage to lead the way in your life.
Today, we want you to just set aside any distractions that you have, doubts or what ifs, that can so often hold us back. And today we're going to focus on the power that within each of us to break through limitations, step into our authentic selves, and create lives filled with purpose and fulfillment. That would be good. This is what we want to start thinking about that in our lives.
Absolutely. And our intention for this session is very simple. We want to give you a glimpse of how the Raw Courage Coaching Program can transform not just your goals, but the way that you feel about achieving them. And we're here to empower you to dream boldly, trust yourself fully, and take action toward the future that you deserve.
Exactly. So we're going to invite you to concentrate, allow this time to be for yourself, and to grab a piece of paper and a pen. Make sure you have that here for you, or a workbook, whatever you want, your journal, and be ready, because we're going to lead you through a life-changing exercise in this program today. And it's going to be eye-opening to have you understand what's really important in your life, and how it can really, really start you on this journey of your authentic vision for what you want to do in your life going forward.
And by the end of this session, you're going to have the clarity on how this program works, what it can offer you, and how it aligns with your unique journey. So we're going to dive in, connect, and start exploring in the courage that's already within you.
Exactly. And so we want you to know a little bit about ourselves too, because obviously we're going to be teaching this program. And so today we're going to give you a little bit of history of us and our journey, which has brought us to this place that we want to share this message. So since 2006, Tanya and I have created a company called Courageous Living, and it's been empowering women to find themselves, raise their voice, and gather courage to live their best life, no matter what the circumstances. We teach women to be the victor in their lives. We teach women to harness their power, to be extraordinary leaders and creators of their lives. We want you to really have that exciting, fulfilling life. And we've helped thousands of women become inspired to write their new chapter, their new vision for their life, and so that they can be fulfilling and joyful, and a life that they love, that they want to move towards to get their dreams. And we can help you do that one step at a time.
That's right. Since 2006, Joanna and I have been working together. So now 18 years, we can't believe it. It's been incredible. So thousands of women have come through our programs. We've had many, many different programs, really helping women understand the relationship they have with themselves and with all of the different aspects of their life. Because unlike just trying to, unlike other networking organizations, the WXN, and this is what fuels our alignment, is here to help women really develop themselves, which is why this has become the #1 personal development program for professional women. And so it's really exceptional because we have such an amazing program ahead for you, helping you understand who you are, what you really want, how to set the boundaries in order to achieve it, and then what steps to put in place so that you can truly have a life you love in every single area.
Exactly. And we want you to know today, as Tanya mentioned before, this is like a sneak peek of what the program is. So no matter what, you're here. If you're here, we would love you to join us for the 6-month program. But no matter what, be committed today that you're going to get something for yourself today.
That's right.
Because you're here and there's something that you can take from this. And we want you to put that in your life. No matter what, we want you to start moving in that direction of your dreams. And so to start, because we want to tell you a little bit about ourselves and our journey, I'll start with myself, and about my authentic journey of what happened for me in my life, just a little sneak peek. But first of all, to just kind of explain that for me, I'm a firstborn of 4 children. I've come from a beautiful family. They're very loving. We're a fairly close family. But like every other family, we've had our ups and downs. And at age 12, there was a big change in my life, because my father had a major catastrophe kind of business situation that happened, and he started to drink due to that problem. So I was already a responsible little girl because I'm the firstborn, and a bit bossy, because that's kind of what firstborns do. And that really changed the trajectory of my life. So because of that alcohol and the things that were happening in the family, I became codependent. you know, and if anybody's heard of that word codependency, it's like really trying to help everyone in my family, and definitely trying to help my dad and my family in a way that I helped them just to kind of create some sort of, I guess it felt like order in the life. And I felt responsible for everybody else's needs and started doing that sort of thing. So that by focusing on everybody else's, it started me being in a place of like, well, I'm not important then. So this low self-esteem, low self-worth, you know, of course, I didn't know it at the time because I would seem like a real confident, strong little thing. But, you know, really at the core of it was a lot of low self-worth and major insecurities, self-loathing for sure, and feeling not smart enough, not good enough, not pretty enough, not whatever enough. All of those sort of things seemed to be my life. And so, of course, then it started me in the people pleasing, because then I can make everybody else happy. And then everybody else is happy, then I can be happy because then everybody else is happy. So it was more that of creating then, unfortunately, more control issues and being more controlling, because even though it wasn't about me, it seems like it was about me because I wanted to make it all a certain way, but it was really because I wanted other people to be happy. So again, already starting to lose yourself or not even knowing who I really was at that point. And then that brought me later on in life to a major transition, or I should say pivotal moment at 21, when all of a sudden I started experiencing health issues. And that's been a big part of my journey. So I have an autoimmune disease, and that is called vasculitis. And it started at that point when I was 21 and created a near-death experience. So I almost died at that point. But what had happened is really what it did, it started killing my kidneys. So a couple more of these episodes with vasculitis and those things happening and medication to control it. Then eventually by 25, it completely killed my kidneys. So I was admitted to the hospital with only 12 hours to live. And, you know, for me, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna survive. And I did, you know, and we had a lot of things that had to happen at that point, which changes in my life, which was dialysis, different forms of dialysis over 3 years. And then by 28 years old, I did get my first kidney transplant, and that was from my sister. So such a gift of life. And that was something that made me have my life back. Like now I was on fire. All of a sudden I was back in the game, but made some pivotal changes in my life, and how would I say, I'm just going blank on that, but just changed who I was in so many different ways. So life was good. I started getting into my business, did different things like that. But another transition in my life was my healing journey about 8 years later, when I left my marriage at the age of 36. I had been married for 17 years, and it wasn't working. So as disappointing as it was, I left the marriage and really felt like I'd lost myself. I didn't even know who I was. I'd been so focused on everybody else that I just didn't know what to do anymore with who I was. And I felt so empty. And I felt in that place like, I do not know who I am. So not knowing who I was, having no boundaries, not loving myself. And I set out on this journey to find myself. I knew that no matter what, this was a really important thing, that I had to figure out what I needed, what I wanted, and just to be able to look, and what it was to be a woman for myself. And so that healing journey began. And I definitely wanted to clear up things from my past so that I would never make those mistakes again or be in a relationship that wasn't fulfilling for me. So that journey began. Now, what was working in my life was my business. It was doing well. I was a president of a woman-owned and woman-run company in the packaging industry. And then within 3 years, I had empowered my team to run the whole company. And I was only having to work like 1 hour or one meeting per month. So that was wonderful. So again, it gave me time to focus on me. I'm having a real dry mouth here. Hang on. Sorry. So I focused on me. So I was in that place of like saying, okay, what do I need to do? So threw myself into every course, every book, every therapy, everything that could be, on any subject that would be important for a life and to figure out who I was. And those really, really helped me do this growth of figuring out who I was. But it also on that journey made me realize how I wasn't alone, that there were so many other women had also been on that journey of losing themselves and not knowing who they were and not looking at all the areas of their life. So for me, it really was looking at mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, physical, creative, financial, every aspect of your life. And that is definitely, many of those areas had been lost. When you think about the pie of your life, you can have a few of them really good, but maybe there's some that's really been missing. And that's what I really noticed. So in that journey, I really wanted to then now share that information in all those other areas of my life. And so then what I did was I became a coach and involved myself more and more in helping other women. And especially because I created an event called Diva Day, which was a 12-hour day focused on women to be able to look at those areas. So bringing speakers on all different subjects so that women could start really, really looking at themselves growing. And it was very successful. It was a real joy. It empowered so many different women. And then while that was going on, this is when Tanya came in my life. So my beautiful Tanya. So you can
That's great.
explain there.
You know, what I love about your story, Joanna, is, you're so courageously sharing the vulnerable pitfalls, right? And that's something that we always gloss over, because in courageous living, we really help women connect to their authentic story, to understand that along the way, things happen and we are conditionally raised by our environment to think a certain way, to act a certain way. And what I love is that, when you hit those points of crisis, you realize, my gosh, like, not only is my life not working, but I have the drive and the passion to be able to make a change. And I just love that you threw yourself into all kinds of transformation and all the courses, because that's exactly what it takes. Like, it takes the work of really looking deeply at ourselves and understanding, what is creating these results. And I always think about it like we have a process and then we have our results. And it's like, if I don't like the results of my life, then I look at the process by which I achieve them. And I think, I know I can make those valuable changes there. And this is what birthed these programs for other women. I love that
Absolutely.
so much. And, I really found myself, I feel like, in the same position in many ways. I mean, Joanna and I have a radically different upbringing, radically different story, but I love how compatible it is, because where Joanna was in a place where she was experiencing one of the female syndromes of, doing, done, like she was doing for everybody, and then one day done, like done with her marriage, and then, done with the way that she ran her business, and, needed to empower her staff instead, and,
Yeah.
just done. And
Yeah.
and that is something that happens to all of us. Like, every one of us has a date in our calendar that we are unaware of, which is our done date.
That could happen, but
Yeah,
we don't want that to happen.
that's right. And we
Yes.
wake up one day and we are like, done.
Yes.
And that's the problem, because then we think, you know what, it's your fault, or it's this fault. And then we start, breaking ties with we start kind of, as women, we are creating the fabric of society and we draw people near us. But when we're done, we don't want to do anything for anyone anymore, because we have to start doing for ourselves. So, what's great about Courageous Living, and now our amazing partnership with the WXN since 2020, is that we really lead women out of that paradigm and into a place where they're flourishing again and reconnected to themselves and their inner compass. And for me,
Your story. We'll
yes,
hear your
absolutely. For
story.
me, 100%. And, despite my fluent English, I'm actually an immigrant, and I came from Russia in 1980. And so, I really quickly learned that in Canada, or North America, the United States, it's acceptable to try your best. But if any of you are from Eastern Europe, or, Southeast Asia, or China, or wherever, like, it's not to try your best, it is to be the best. And so I was definitely raised by an amazing mother who was an incredible entrepreneur, who was a doctor in Russia, who built a business in Canada, who really helped me understand what resilience was. So I knew I needed to be the best in everything. And so, as an ambitious driver, I was a huge ambitious driver in school and in business. And so I started working in my mother's clinic when I was 12. And then by 14, I was Canada's youngest government licensed esthetician because I finished beauty school at the same time as I was finishing high school. And then I
Mhm.
continued to complete university degrees in psychology and business, and most recently, a postgraduate degree in MIT from MIT in the neuroscience of business. And so what happened was that by the time I was 23, I was so ready. Like I grew up in Winnipeg, and I'm not sure if anyone knows Winnipeg or if there's anyone from there. I love Winnipeg, but 9 months of snow a year, that could pretty much make anyone feel like all they wanted to do was travel. And that's what I prayed for. I prayed every night, please God, give me a job that traveled. And then at 23, I actually moved to France and I traveled 22 countries a year. And I wrote 4 books for our industry that were translated in 11 languages. And, it was an amazing career. But at that time, my mother really wanted me to come back and help her build another part of the company, which was a skincare company. And since I was already working for a laboratory, I knew how that worked. So I came back, and by the age of 27, I built a company with her called Time Reverse, and we went on the shopping channels around the world. So I presented in Canada, the US, in England, in Russia, in Germany, Australia. And within our first year, we made $1 million in sales. And so, the thing is, up until then, I really didn't understand that what I was being driven by was a part of me that just felt truly not good enough because I could always do better. When you're in a household where everything can always be better, you can always do better. And then the greatest thief of joy is comparison. I would constantly look at, and Joanna had to hear these stories too. I would constantly look at other people and think, if she can do it, so can I. And I pushed myself harder and further.
Mhm.
And so by the age of 27, and that company got built, I realized that there was so many responsibilities in hiring and production and operations that I was not prepared for, especially since I was still working for that other company out of France, that I finally, because I had no boundaries, I had no limits, I didn't understand where, my energy ended. I truly had a breakdown. I had a burnout that led to a breakdown. And when I had that breakdown, that negative inner voice that had always driven me harder, because the way I'd motivate myself was by kind of, beating myself up a bit, right? Like, so if I didn't do it right, it's like, come on, Tanya, try harder, do better. Like, you got this. But that level of speaking to ourselves really creates that feeling where it's like, I can't trust myself because I cannot see the mistakes that I'm making. But most importantly, I can't even feel the successes I'm enjoying. And that was where my breakdown happened, is I just felt like I couldn't actually be happy for anything that was really happening on a deep level of achievement, because I just felt like the next thing, moving the goalpost all the time. And so, of course, by 29, I decided, okay, it's time for me to get married, because that's what women do. We create these false deadlines that just be like, okay, by 29, I need this, by 35, I need that, by 40, I want this. And those types of deadlines, again, put pressure on us because they turn us into should goals. So I literally lived my life by should goals. I'm this age, I'm this amount, I need to have this by that. And so, to be honest with you, like, I didn't know how to manage failure well. I didn't understand how to be resilient in the face of all the things that I felt were slowly crumbling around me, because I couldn't do better. I just couldn't get better. And so ultimately, I had to take a pause and start focusing on something else. So at 29, I decided I want to get married, and I got into a relationship. And what's amazing, and this is something you'll reveal at Courageous Living, is that what we attract who we are. And so the way that I
And
grew
where
up
we're at
and where we're at,
in our life.
exactly, exactly.
Yes.
And we attract the love we understand. And so because my love was the love that I grew up with in my household was an authoritarian, very, tell me what to do kind of love, which was always very corrective and critical in some ways, right? Constructive criticism. What did I attract? I attracted a controlling, authoritative, constructive, critically wonderful person in my life. So it took me 2 years to realize that I'd completely lost myself. I lost myself in that relationship, trying to make everything work and trying to, make everything successful. And so by the time, I went through all the companies and all the different things that I was doing in the relationship, I found myself at another breaking point, which was going, gone. I woke up one morning and I'm like, how did I get myself into this? How did I get myself into a relationship where I've completely lost myself, and I lost even my touch with my career and the things I wanted because I was working so hard to make it work? And that's when I met Joanna. So I had a friend of mine who introduced me to Joanna, who was playing the movie The Secret. So I'm not sure if anyone's had The Secret playing before, but
Mhm.
it's the movie about the law of attraction. And what I learned in that incredible movie was our beliefs create our life. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, if my beliefs create my life, then all I have to do is change my beliefs, because I was thinking, like, how am I going to change my life? That's too hard. But
Mhm.
changing my beliefs was completely doable. And so Joanna put me on that incredible path on changing my beliefs. I went to courses around the world, spent thousands and thousands of dollars over a year of sabbatical, and then
Mhm.
came back and said to Joanna, we have got to take women on this journey together. And then I also certified as a coach. I was an international speaker already at that point. And so we created together Courageous Living, where we had all those wonderful, courses for women and all the different journeys that women were being taken on in order to find themselves and get out of the paradigm of doing, done, and going, gone.
Exactly. Thank you, Tanya.
You're
I
welcome.
know, and it's been a great partnership, the
Yeah,
two of us working together. We've had such a joy doing that and such a joy helping women and supporting women. So, and in our journey with Courageous Living, first we just knew it wasn't just about positive thinking
that's
and
right.
rah, rah, rah. We realized that there is something deeper. And because that was something I was really passionate about, your subconscious mind and where there might be blocks in the way. We wanted women to know that what's in the way
Mm,
is the way. Like if
absolutely.
there's something there that's there, to not just ignore it and shove it down, shove it down. Because what sabotages us is where we really want to start. That is the journey. And as Tanya mentioned before, these syndromes that we really were able to home in and explain to women about this going, going, gone. So Tanya was the going, going, gone, always going, going, going. I was definitely, when I was doing, and then done.
That's right.
Like it was just like I was done. And I just like got to that point where even for my behavior, like even to just like say, I can't do anything anymore, it was out of character for me, but it was such a pivotal point. And we wanted to make sure though, it was women understand this. We don't want them to get to that place. So come to us first, and start working on yourself and your goals first so that you don't get to that point. And that's why we created our programs and Courageous Living and all those sort of things. So we did more events, more workshops that really go deep into women's lives, into their needs. We created a workshop called Investing in You, so it could really raise women's worth, because if they are investing in themselves, they are really raising their
That's right.
self-worth. And when it came to their love for themselves, their money, or what their views are about money, your belief systems about money, men, love, health, and every area of your life as a woman. We wanted women to keep learning in those areas. And so we really realized that women needed, though, more than just the one day inspiration or one day workshops. So they needed like ongoing support. So we needed a program, a community where we could have women come together and have that ongoing support, and so that they could grow and could handle, struggles and upsets and things that are happening in their life and be able to succeed and get over those. So then that's why we created our Mentor Circle program, the Courageous Living Mentor Circle program. That was a 6-month program that really patterned the life cycle of a goal. Like, how do you break down your goals and go forward? So some thousands of women have come through our programs and learned that. And especially they learned, which is a really important phrase that we have, is that courage is not the absence of fear, but it's the decision that something else is more important than fear. So really think about that for yourself. Because to have courage, we want to have this courage, but courage is not the absence of fear. We're never going to get all of that out of the way, but it's the decision that there's something more important than fear, and that's you. And we want women to know that is you, and it's you. And today, that's why we want you to focus on you, even just to have this little sneak peek and think, what is more important, to me? Maybe I've lost that. Maybe I haven't figured that out yet. So this is your time. So today we're going to have that little sneak peek and that special profound exercise that we're going to do as well.
Now that we've told you about ourselves, we want to tell you more about the WXN and the program that you're about to, get in. Really, I mean, honestly, I just love this program so much. This is our
Mhm.
4th year. So what I'm going to do is share screen if I can, and share with you what it means to be a radically authentic woman. So And Radically Authentic Woman, like the Raw Courage program, was actually coined by Sherry Stevens, the president of WXN. So we adore working with them. And Raw Courage, so Raw stands for Radically Authentic Woman. It's the kind of courage that drives us higher while remaining unapologetically rooted in our truth. The kind that thrives in vulnerability, ignoring the naysayers, those people that just tell us there's no way you'll get there, as we follow our passionate hearts. The kind that lives with purpose so as not to live with regret. The kind we embrace as radically authentic women. We challenge you to stay standing with raw courage. And in fact, Stand in Raw Courage is our theme and also the rallying cry. It's a call to ignite a movement of brave authenticity, starting here and now, starting with you ladies today. So we want you to take up the challenge by showing the world what it really means to be a radically authentic woman. And so today is that day to spark a new dialogue about what makes you courageous.
That's right. Okay. So as we just mentioned as well,
Yeah.
like how we've been able to become those
Radically
radically
authentic
authentic women
women.
and how important that journey is. And so to be able to share that, we just want to also share that we've written a book on the subconscious mind and how to create a life that you love, but also get any blocks out of the way. It's called Undermined.
Right, you'll get a copy.
In the program, absolutely. And how it's also become a best-selling book, which is wonderful. And the program that we'll talk a little bit more later about how we've worked with WXN and have this 6-month program now with WXN. But it's also led Tanya and I into this place that we can be your teachers, that we've been on this journey, we've done this route, we know what it's like. And so we're so here and in a loving place wanting to share the message with you and also help you along that journey. And just so you know that all of that journey that we went through has brought us into a place that we really have our joy. We really have been in a place that we can actually know who we are, have healthy boundaries, be able to say no when something's not working, or we're saying, hey, that's just too much for me right now. And listen, we're still go-getters and we still do all
Absolutely.
those sort of things, but it's being able to understand yourself and being able to honor yourself and
Right.
fill our own cup first and then give from the overflow. And that's important. Like when it goes into your saucer, think about a cup and it flowing over into the saucer, and then you can give from the overflow. And, so for today, I have a passion that I can work with people, not only as a coach, but also as a therapist,
That's right.
working on the subconscious mind to be able to rewire some of those blocks that are in there that really, really take people out in their life. So it's a special therapy that I do with people. So it's a passionate thing. I work in speaking as well, and with Tanya in this program and teaching in all different aspects. So that's one of the things that I do. And with Tanya, you can explain about your incredible career with what you're doing now.
So now I'm still an international speaker. I travel to over
Mhm.
60 countries, and I speak mostly to entrepreneurs and business leaders, as well as women from around the world. And I'm a corporate educator as well as a business coach. And, we're just so excited to be women's leaders. To be honest with you, like we are always still growing and learning from the programs with you because we put our lives at stake in this program as well. So, why is this the most relevant growth program today, the Radically Authentic Women, the Raw Courage Coaching Program? First, because it's based in neuroplasticity. So, unlike other coaching programs that take you through a bunch of different, aspects of what you want, the Raw Courage Coaching Program, first of all, patterns the 6 stages in the life cycle of a goal, which we'll talk about, at the end. But it also helps you rewire the neuronal programs. It helps you rewire those erroneous programs that are not working for you. Because again, we talked about we want to change our beliefs so we can change our life, right? And so it's so important. And that's one of the biggest things that you get out of the program as well, outside of just the clarity of the vision itself.
Right. And the awareness,
That's
because to
right.
even just be in that conversation, to create such awareness of who you are, dig deeper to find out really what's going on, and maybe some of those things that you've just forgotten about or just lost along the way about who are you really.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And you're also getting a chance not just to work with us, but with the top 100 most powerful women in Canada as a mentor specifically just for you, as well as seeing them on panels. There is so much that we're going to show you just before we go in terms of what you get from the program.
Mhm.
But it's a relevant growth program because it really addresses the three specific sort of lies that we tell ourselves as women. And
And
it's
we want you to really think about this part now. So this is now where you can
so
get your
important.
paper out and start thinking about your life as we ask you some questions.
That's right,
Mhm.
because some of the lies that we tell ourselves actually create a vicious cycle of self sabotage. And because we specialize in breaking through self sabotage, this is one of the most effective programs to surge you forward in your life in all the different areas we mentioned. But first, we think about like what are the lies that we tell ourselves as women? The first one is one day. One day I'll get to it. One day I'll do it for myself. Oh, one day I'd like to do this, or one day I'd like to be that, or one day I'd like to change careers, or one day I'd like to write a book, or one day I'd like to travel here. But that one day has no actual set date. And so, women, because we tend to prioritize other people before ourselves, we tend to prioritize ourselves last, which leads to anger and resentment with all the different relationships that we have with our people.
Mhm.
And the second lie that we tell ourselves is, I can do it myself. I got this. And that's the other thing too, is that we really thrive and achieve in community, especially women. Women really get more done when we're surrounded by other like-minded, courageous women that are truly going for their goals and are able to support us along the journey. And this I can do it myself mentality really makes us feel, first of all, that we have to do it ourselves. And that really relies on just our resources and no one else's. Like, we want you to consider this woman that's, if you've ever been in a place where you're gathering all your bags and you're holding the door
Yes.
with a foot and you've got something in your teeth and someone wants to help you, you're like, I'm good. I got this. And so it's that place where you just think, like, I've got all of it. And all of it falls on our shoulders and it leads to the doing, done that truly puts us into breakdown. And
And that's been your program for a while,
exactly,
right? It's
right? Like,
underneath there, the way you operate.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And the third lie that we tell ourselves, the third lie is, I'm not ready. It's like, I really one day want this, but now's not a good time. I'm not ready. I'm not, it's a lie we tell ourselves. Did you know that last year I facilitated a panel? This is so interesting, where venture capitalists came and spoke, and then the people that were given the money, that were actually fueled the businesses, the entrepreneurs came and spoke. And the male entrepreneurs, not to gender specific things, but this is a real fact here. The male entrepreneurs that came to the panel were like, you know what? We just put an idea together. We put a concept. We told them what it was. We made it like it was already done and perfect, and we got the money. And so they started their business quickly. Whereas the female entrepreneurs were like, first I had to make the product. Then I had to test it. Then I had to make sure it was perfect. Then I had to consult with everyone. Then I had to like try it out on all my friends. And then, and only then, was I possibly maybe ready to present it to get the funding. Women in general tend to internalize failure and so turn it towards themselves and think, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I'm not worthy. Whereas men
And it
tend
has
to
to be
actually,
perfect.
it has to be
Mhm.
perfect. And men tend to externalize failure, where it's like, if they park a car, I know my own husband, it's like, if he parks a car incorrectly, it's like that guy's fault, the guy's fault behind him. So it's important for us to understand that women have a completely different approach to life, to success, to their goals. And this vicious cycle is, one day I can do it myself, but I'm not ready. One day I'm going to get to do it myself, but I'm not ready, because it's overwhelming and we don't know how to break those goals down into tiny little steps in order to make them achievable. So if you are here to call in really important, valuable change into your life, if you are ready to truly live in a, and it doesn't have to be like, I'm not ready. Like, if you're ready, if there's a part of you, obviously you're here. If there's a part of you that wants to make 2025 your absolute best year, if you want to make this next year truly a year that is full of your specific personal goals that you know that you're going to get the support to achieve, you are absolutely in the right place to get over these sort of self-limiting paradigms and get into a place of positive action.
Exactly. So we want to put it now to you. We want you to really think about your life and actually put it on the chat. What is something that you're telling yourself that one day you're going to do? So if you be courageous, do that, put that on the chat so we can actually see that and be able to read that out. What is something that you've been telling yourself, one day I'll get to that? So let's just start with the first one. One day we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'd love to see it in the chat. So what's something oh, launch my own business, buy a house. We'd love to hear it. Let's keep going. What's
Mhm.
something you're telling yourself? Buy a vacation property,
Right.
financial security. We love that.
Mhm.
Complete my Pilates instructor's course, 100%.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Take time for myself. Figure out what to do next. Exactly.
And that's
Brilliant.
a big one. That's so good.
Huge.
You know, the vision to have a vision. What am I going to do next? Good.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Perfect. That's great. And then what's something you're telling yourself? Oh, good. Become a mentor to midlife women. Yes. Figure out what I want to do next. So many people are in the figure out what to do next situation. We love that too. Set boundaries.
So important. And we want you to look at that. Think about those, even those internal goals for yourself, those personal goals that are important for you, because we can have a lot of, which is wonderful, those external ones, the things that we want, maybe some big goals, but they're big when we're actually looking at ourselves and saying, what if it's one day I'm going to learn to love myself?
Mm,
One day I'm going to learn how to receive. One day I'm going to learn to really, really be in this place of my self-worth and build that up, or I'm going to be fully self-expressed. I'm going to learn how to speak
yeah.
up for myself. Those are things we want you to look at as well. Are those things that you've been neglecting in your life?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the Raw Courage Coaching Program, you are really encouraged not only to set external goals, which is
Mm-hmm.
all the things that you see as a result in your life, but those internal goals, as Joanna was
Huge.
mentioning, such as loving myself, and this whole last year, I've been looking at receiving. And
Mm-hmm.
because instead of working on just making more money, because I thought, okay, I really want to increase my income, or I want to increase my footprint or my social media or whatever, before we can do something that's fully self-expressed outward in our life, there's an aspect of ourselves that we have to grow within. So I actually had to learn to receive more. I had to
Yeah, it's really
really
important.
expand my capacity to receive and really be in that place of self-awareness so that when the money comes, I'm ready and I'm not going to be like, no, that's okay, or give someone a deal, or, do those things that actually sabotage our success.
And well, ladies, we want you to think about that for yourself. For all of those things that you just wrote, are you willing to receive that
Mhm.
in your life? So it's like, yes, I want it exciting, but then to really actually have it come into your life. Again, important thing to look at and to ask yourself. Mhm.
And so what's something, if you can set it in the chat, that you're not ready for, that you're telling
One more,
yourself,
something before that you're
oh, set
saying,
boundaries.
no, no, something you're saying, I can do myself.
Yeah. Oh, I can
That
do it
one.
myself. Exactly.
Mhm.
So what have you been telling yourself that you can do yourself, that like you're really being self-reliant? So I can even start with myself. Like I've been telling myself for years, I can do my own social media. But you know what? The reality is I'm just not that person. I am not
Yeah.
good at being
No.
like, look at me. That kind of thing is very different. So, this year I realized, okay, I'm going to give up on trying to make it fit when I know it's not who I truly am. And what the great thing is that you're going to do what's called the Clifton Strengths Finder.
Hang on, just before that, while she's telling you all that, ladies, share in the chat.
Oh, something that you're not ready for.
No, something that you're gonna do by your, if
Oh,
you
by
feel you
yourself.
can just do it by
Joanna,
yourself.
sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
something that you are thinking I've got to set for myself. Like
Mhm.
what am
That
I
I can do it all by myself. I've gotta
exactly?
do it all by myself. Okay, and then tell her about the Clifton Strengths, which we
Yeah,
are gonna,
exactly. Because the
yeah.
Clifton Strengths is part of your program. And when I uncovered what my true strengths were, I leaned into those strengths and stopped thinking I could do things that weren't truly in alignment with who I am as a person and
Mhm.
as a business person. And so I hired a really great company. And now I feel so excited to work with them because ultimately, that's how it works. You cannot do things in a vacuum. And so I love what people are saying. So something I've been saying to myself, I can do it myself, is investing, being accountable, Oh, good. Love the Clifton Strengths. Perfect. What
Okay.
else are you telling yourself that you can do on your own?
And that's so typical.
Mm,
Yeah, for so many women to just kind of be in your own space. I don't want to share anything. I don't want to be vulnerable. I don't want, so I'll just do it myself. I'll do it myself. So if that
exactly.
really makes sense with you, or if, even if you can just for yourselves write it down on the paper, what you're noticing that you're saying that you have to do all by yourself.
That's it.
Okay.
And we think, especially being accountable. I love what Nicole is saying. It's like being accountable. I have to do that myself. You know how hard it is to be accountable to ourselves when, first of all, we prioritize our goals last. And at the same time, if we're working on our worth, we might not even think that we're worthy of working on ourselves or feel guilty when we take the time to do it. And so it's so much better to be in a place of group accountability because everyone, when you show up, you're going to be amongst people who are going to be cheering for you
Mhm.
even if you're not in the best place, because sometimes it's like this to get to what we want, you're in a place that you're being completely supported.
Yeah. When we had one other person put that down, heal.
Heal.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Thinking I got to do that all privately by myself. Okay. And
How are you
yet,
going to do that?
this
Exactly.
is the thing. So being able to have this awareness that I'm actually doing this, I'm saying I've got to do this all by myself, can have you come already into a place of breakthrough to say, true, how am I doing this? How can I do all this by myself? I've got to get in action with people, with other people, with community, with supporters, people who are doing even the healing work. So creating that around ourselves so that we can start moving into those areas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if we want to get out of our comfort zone.
Right.
And then the last one.
Yeah. Now it's not ready.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
what's in the chat that you feel that you really want in that one day conversation, but there's a part of you, there's a hesitant part of you that thinks, I'm just not ready.
Mhm.
I'm not ready. Like, I'm scared that I'm not ready. It's the fear talking. So, what is the fear talking over? What do you think that you would love to do, but you're just not ready?
And those might be some bigger things that you're thinking about,
Yeah.
but who knows? It could be just something that's been on your to-do list for a long time. So share that with
Yeah,
us.
we've had women in the program do everything from renovate their home to take their dream vacation to finally have better relationships with their children. Okay, so become a public speaker,
Mm,
independence, making my own path, be in a more demanding role. We love that. Change my job. Okay, exactly. Like
yeah,
big things that you feel are like right in front of you. And that the most important part is that that inner compass, that inner voice of your intuition is telling you it's time. It's time. But then there's that negative inner chatter that says, I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready. And then we feel stuck because we think time is ticking and I'm not moving. Like the reality is that you're not going to change your job tomorrow and you're not going to become, a public speaker necessarily with all the big stages tomorrow. But the question is, how do I get myself from where I am today into where I want to be? Right? Like the management role. What are the steps? And it's this particular program that helps you break down everything
it
into the
is.
tiniest micro steps, which
Yeah,
are steps so small you cannot fail.
exactly. So the Raw Courage program Courage Coaching Program is that program that really, really has you dream big, create the vision, and then, as Sonia said, break it down so it's
Mhm.
doable. Don't worry about the how. When we want to make sure that when we're writing a vision, we don't even get into that place of like, oh, how is that going to happen? No, we want to be in a place of like, what is it that I really want? And we really can help you make those changes and do the work. And just because the structure of it just
Yeah.
leads you through it to make yourself a priority, and that the things that you want to do, make them a priority, and recognizing when you get off track so that when you, and that's really important, right? Because in the moment that you
Mhm.
realize, oh, I'm forgetting it again, and I'm now doing something else, and I'm not doing what I said I was going to do, that's important to have that awareness. And then, of course, being supported to be on course, like on the course, on the path going forward. Mhm.
Exactly. And so Joanna's going to take you through this life-changing exercise now. So you've got your paper, you've got your pen.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time. because we want to uncover for ourselves. It's like, what is my vision moving forward? Where should I begin? And of course, in session one, we take you through, an understanding of naming your priorities and understanding what matters to you. And there's a bunch of exercises to be able to uncover what's real. But in this particular exercise, you're going to just be like really shocked in terms of what has been yearning for your attention and what's going to be in the vision for you moving forward.
Okay, wonderful. So ladies, we want you to just be in a place where you take a nice deep breath.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know we've been talking fast and lots of things, and then just to be in that place where you're going to now think about
Mhm.
yourself, just in this moment, be present to yourself. And we're going to create a scenario. And the scenario is going to sound a little negative, but it's okay. We're going to turn that around in the end, but just really go with the flow, be in this place. Picture that now in your life today that you unfortunately got some news from the doctor that said,
That's awful.
I know, that today, like you've got something so bad, some sort of illness or something that
God forbid.
tomorrow this is it. Like this is your last day on this earth. This is your last
At the
day
age you are now.
at the age you are right now in this moment,
Mhm.
that there's no more life ahead. There's nothing else, okay, going forward. So we want you to really tap into your authentic self and really be in that place and just be there for a moment and say, okay, write down on the paper now. What would you say I failed my life because, or I regret I didn't do? What did I not do? Because there's books out there, one called The Five Regrets of the Dying.
Mm.
And it's one of the major um, parts of it is that part of when you are dying, we go into this place is one of the major ones. I regret what I didn't do.
Mhm.
So we don't want you to even think about things that already happened, but what could you not do in the future? Like now it's been cut off from you because tomorrow's it. So start writing a list and put on the top of the page, I failed my life, or I'm disappointed with my life because I didn't. I regret my life because I didn't do. So just take some time. We're going to be quiet. We're going to let you really think about that for yourself. And if anyone needs any clarity or anything, please just put yourself right off mute. We'd love to hear. And ladies, just let that be all your feelings coming out. Really dig deep. Make sure you have at least 5 or 6. And if you have 10, that's okay. That's good. 15. We've had women do this before with a big long list where you get really present to that. And ladies, when you feel like you're done, you can keep working on it, but if you feel like you're done, if you can put up your electronic hand, that'll just give us an idea for timing of how you feel. Interesting.
Just a few more hands up and then we'll put ourselves in a breakout room so that you can experience what it is
Yes,
to
so
talk to another woman.
this is the courageous part where you actually get to get it out of your mouth, get it out of your head, get it out of your heart. And actually, we want you to really think about, like, sorry, not think about it. We want you to be in participation of this. We want you to be there and be in a place where you can fully express that. And we're going to set you up for that powerfully. So just make sure you have your list ready.
Can't find hand. Okay, good. Okay, perfect. It looks like everyone's pretty much got it.
What have you got?
Mhm, 5 others.
Okay.
Virginia, do you think that we can put everyone in breakout rooms?
You're on mute, sweetheart.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was.
Sorry, you want everyone into breakout rooms?
So before we do it, we'll explain. Yeah.
So what's
But
gonna
we'll give you a little bit more time. So if there's any more things that you want to write down while we're doing that, and just tell us when you're ready, Virginia.
Yeah. How many rooms would you like?
Just two people
In each
together.
room.
Maybe you can split them in twos.
And if there's an extra, you can leave them in our view so we can chat with them.
If that's needed. And ladies, in the meantime, what we're going to do is set you up for this powerfully. So what we want you to do is have your list. Obviously, meet your lady. If you can put yourself on camera so that you can actually see the lady and have that connection, that would be great. But just because there's limited time, just be in a place of saying now, okay, here's my list. I regret my life because I would I regret that I didn't do this, or I regret my life. And you just read off the list. But what we want you to do is every time you say it, because each one of those items is really important. So we want you to say that every time. I regret in my life that I didn't or I regret whatever is, grammatically correct in how you're going to read that list, but so that you're getting present to every single one of those statements, to read them off. No story. You don't have to tell a story and explain it. Just make sure you get through the list and then switch so the other lady has some time to do her list as well. So just make sure you give that to each other. And if there is time at the end, then if you do want to tell a little story at the end, that's fine as well. But just want to make sure you give each one of you the time to just say it. And when we want you also to get present to how you feel saying it. So pay attention to that. How does it feel? You've already had some emotions or feelings about writing that down. So now how does it feel to say it to someone else? And then also, how does it feel listening to another woman share their list with you? Okay.
So we'll do like 3 minutes each at least.
Yeah. Are you okay if one group has 3 people in it?
We are, or we
Okay.
could even,
you can leave
that person,
one person with us.
if that's easy.
Okay.
If
I
not,
will-
it's
I'll
okay.
do that. Okay.
Okay.
I hope this
ladies-
works, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. And it will be about
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
No,
Okay.
like 4 minutes in total,
4 minutes in
Virginia,
total.
and so it'll be 2 minutes each. Okay.
Okay.
We hope you had a good time connecting with other women.
Okay, ladies. Good, good, good. So what we want you to do is really get present to how did that make you feel? So if you could write that in the chat for us to be able to express it, and whether it was even just writing the list, because that's also important, like how you felt even writing the list. And then also, how did it feel expressing it, actually declaring it? Take your time.
How did you feel in that set? We're going to make this all better in just a minute. So
Yes.
in the chat, how did that make you feel? Perfect. Raw and vulnerable. Thank you, Nicole. Scary. I felt like it was the first step to something new. Exactly. Expressing it felt really important to me. It felt
Awesome.
great, better than I thought it would. It wasn't awkward. Fantastic. Thank you, Karen.
Right.
Emotional, a
Mm-hmm.
relief, a relief. Exactly. Perfect. Release. Amazing. Fantastic. Freeing.
Yay.
Motivated to change it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And we want you to know that when we've done this, like in my condo, we've did for many, many years. As you say, we were doing this for many years there, and having all the women around, it would Kleenex boxes would have to go around, because it really does make you realize, wow, I didn't even think about this, how important this was. And maybe it's, I want to spend more time with my mom, or I want to take her on a wonderful trip together, or, things that we haven't thought about before.
Right.
Something that's deep, or really have a deeper relationship with my children, or
Mhm.
do something more romantic with my partner, any of those sort of things. So just getting present to that.
Mhm. It was actually this exercise that almost 18 years ago, when I first came across it, that motivated me to change my mindset around men. Because at the time, I was thinking that all men are fill in the blank. And you know what? That was keeping me single. And so when I did the work, when I realized what I really wanted, because I was just go, 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 career, 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 make $1 million again, build another company, do this. And then when I did I regret my life because I thought, oh, because I didn't find the right man for me. And I just thought, oh my gosh. And so the next session, I focused 100% on clearing up the negative beliefs I had around relationship. And within that same year, the person that was already in my life, the person that and that's the thing, oftentimes we have blind spots to what's available to us because we're not actually ready, because we only see what we believe, not we believe it when we see it. And so that's when I attracted the right partner. And now I've been married for 14 years this year with a beautiful child. And all of our dreams have come true because we've taken the time to recognize, instead of living in the should goals, what are the things that are really, really calling to us. So now what we're going to do is get you to turn it around.
Mm-hmm. And so as well, just again, we just want to congratulate you on being vulnerable,
Yes.
sharing with another woman. So good. And as you can see, these things that you can identify are important to you, how powerful that is, okay, to have that knowledge. Now, of course, it seems like we regret our life because we haven't done it. So as Tanya said, we want to switch this around and make this a positive thing. So we want you to now look at that list and like cross out the top, erase it all there where it says, I regret my life because, and right there, I succeeded in my life because, ... I succeeded in my life because, and then each one of those you're going to declare. Virginia, I think we have somebody not on mute.
Yeah.
Just in
So what
case.
Joanna's saying is that the
Mhm.
same list that you've
Same list.
already created to say, find a new career, whatever the things that you wrote down were, instead of the things that you haven't done. So now instead of that original opening sentence, you say, I succeeded in my life because I did do those things. I
Mhm.
did write the book. I did start the business. I did transition in my career. I did find myself
I
like,
became a successful public speaker.
right.
Then I wrote, I bought a house, I bought a vacation
That's
property
right.
in such
And
and such a place.
invested.
I loved it, invested. So write that, switch it all around. And we're going to put you in breakout rooms again to be able to declare that.
From a successful point of view. So it's the same list that you had before in terms of all the items. The difference is this time you're going to say, I succeeded in my life because I did accomplish the list that you've written.
And we want you to say it with passion. We want you to say it like you believe it. And I get be like, like maybe that's how it feels a little bit, but no, say it like a declaration and just have the experiment of this. And when you come back on the other side, we'll talk to you and see how that felt for you to declare it with the same lovely lady that you were with before. So our beautiful Virginia will put everybody in groups again. Thank you for participating, everyone. Wonderful.
Welcome back. We're happy to see you.
Yes.
How was that for you? We'd love to hear how you feel.
So, yes, when you spoke it, when you said it with passion, how did it feel? Write it down in the chat. We'd like to hear the difference. What was your experience declaring that?
Empowering,
Yay.
energized, liberating.
Yay.
Absolutely peaceful. It felt real. Yes. Exciting, lighter. Love that.
Good.
Okay,
Inspired.
inspired. Beautiful. Okay, congratulations. What an amazing
Motivating.
accomplishment, ladies. You've dug deep this afternoon, and then you've really given yourselves an opportunity to courageously share with another woman,
Mhm.
recognizing probably that there was even similarities and, and how quickly the connection happened, which is so incredible too. That's
Yes.
so amazing.
And that is such a gift and such such a big part of the program, that when you can connect with other women and
Mhm.
realize that you're not alone, that we're all, it's all of us are in the same boat.
That's right.
We all have our goals and the things that we have to do and the priorities in our life, but there's sometimes those things that we're neglecting. And
Mhm.
in this exercise, to really, really get present to some things that maybe we've missed, some things that are just been way back there, on that 1 day list, someday list. And guess what? In the calendar, there is no 1 day, there
Mhm.
is no someday. So that's why we want to get present to that and start making that movement forward. So we want you to know that this already is your list for your vision. So think about that. This is powerful, that you can already have an idea of what you want to achieve, what is important to you, what you need to start putting your focus on, how important that is. So this can be the start of your vision. And we want you to learn how to write that in such a beautiful way that it's not just like a to-do list, but know an inspiring vision with very specific things in there that you want to put down, measurable goals that you want to have, so that it's written in a beautiful way that it just lights you up. And it might scare the living daylights out of you for a little while, but when you read it over and over and over and over and over again, it's amazing how that becomes all of a sudden, absolutely, I can do this.
Yeah.
There's nothing scaring me now. I deserve this. I can receive this. This is what I want for myself. So we want you to take that list, whether you join us in January for the new program, or whether you're just taking this and you're considering this in your life, that this is already your start to that vision and what you want. Mhm.
Absolutely. So we really want to share with you what you're actually going to get out of this program. So we know what raw courage is, but in your raw courage program, you are going to define a courageous vision and set actionable goals for positive change. You're going to learn to stay accountable to those goals with an action plan that tracks success. You're going to break free from your insecurity and inner barriers that hold you back and gain the confidence to take bigger risks and navigate through fear. You're going to gain a growth mindset to impact, serve, lead, and succeed at the highest level. And you're going to learn to set those healthy boundaries and improve your work-life balance. You're going to own, acknowledge, and celebrate your voice and talents, and build deeper friendships and grow with a supportive and loving community.
Yes, and that is definitely what happens here. So what you get out of this program and what it includes is 6 monthly virtual workshops led by us.
That's right. And you're also going to be led by Clifton Strengths trainer Diane A. Ross. She's amazing, and she'll talk to you all about your Clifton Strengths, and that's 2 of them.
Exactly. And then we're also going to give you, of course, your Raw Courage comprehensive workbook. It's a full workbook so that you can work off that, and everything's there for you, as well as a deck of 52 courage cards. Those are cards that Tanya and I created, which are like affirmation cards, but also wisdom cards, a new way of speaking, a new way of declaring your future. They're really nice deck of cards that you can pick up every day. We also, as Tanya mentioned, have the Clifton Strengths program. It's an online talent assessment and a 34-page report. And what's important about that, as she mentioned as well, it really homes in on your talents, your gifts, your strengths, so that you can focus on those and stop trying to be like everything to everyone, or trying to be maybe in an area that is not what you really want to do. It just doesn't resonate with you. It's not who you are as a person. So it's such a gift to be able to find out what our strengths are, and then make our goals and our vision in alignment with that. So it's really powerful report.
That's right.
Then we also have 42, when you think about this, 42 and a half hours of instruction by us, the coaching, panels, and the mentoring. So from January to the beginning of July, or into July. So that program really has a lot of coaching. So 3 hours once a month.
Yeah.
And then also a 1 hour coaching call that happens right after, like 2 weeks after that. And then, as we mentioned there, 1 60-minute open coaching breakthrough session after each session. That's 2 weeks after. So that helps you to really stay in dialogue, stay in communication about your vision, your goal, and get the support you need all the way along.
It's very personalized. So you can come on that coaching call and either listen to other women get the breakthroughs or have your own breakthrough, because you're going to be taking action every single month.
Exactly.
And then you're going to have 6 virtual 1-hour meetings with one of Canada's most powerful top women or women top 100 alumni. And you're going to be, it's basically almost like matchmaking. So the mentor will be matched based on, what your profile is and what you're looking to get out of the program. So one-on-one top 100 mentorship is the hallmark of the Raw Courage coaching program.
And that is really special.
Incredible.
That you have it.
Ladies,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
that is incredible, because they open up about their network, they open up about their stories, they help you, they guide you, they really give you incredible insights. And of course, that mentor is someone that you are essentially connected to and even friends with for years. I mentored in the previous program for wisdom, and I still have people who reach out to me years later. So it's amazing.
Yeah. Also just to recognize it, if some of you ladies don't know about that, candidates, is the first time you're stepping into this program here, to Most Powerful Women. It's an incredible thing that the WXN does, the Women's Executive Network.
That's right.
And how they present this every year. And there are like 800, 900, up to 1,000 women who apply for this, and only 100 women win, which is amazing in all different categories. So to
across
be able
North
to
America.
have one of those in your pocket, be able to, and you're like
Incredible.
right beside you to support you, is an incredible part
Absolutely.
of the program.
Yep.
Mhm.
You get the support emails encouraging you to stay committed to your journey. You also get an accountability partner with structured 5-minute weekly check-ins. That is amazing as well. An inspiring panel discussion with the country's top female business leaders, and then the exclusive Raw Courage online forums to continue sharing ideas and insights.
Mhm. So our program, what's important here is when we were talking about the 6-month program, to understand, as you look at this slide here, you can see the first session is called Inspired Connection and Vision for Success. So it is about you women connecting to each other and realizing there's a community, all of a sudden being able to talk to each other and sharing what you want to get out of the program really creates that connection with women and makes you realize, like, wow, I can see this. I resonate with the other women. It's such a bonding experience to realize that that's what we're going to go forward with this team of people, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and inspiring you to be vulnerable in this area. And I know most people don't like the word vulnerability, but really that's where we want to get to, that authentic self. Okay.
100%.
And then we take the time, really take the time to write down the vision. So we give you the time, we give you some videos as well to inspire you, to be able to motivate you to find out what is in there, what's happening for you inside, that we can get that to bubble forth, and then actually take the time to write it down and have that for yourself.
That's right.
And then 2 weeks after that program is now the open coaching session. So we bring it there to make sure that you really have got that vision written down. So we're helping you with that structure to support you, to make sure that you don't have any questions, or if you do, we answer them, and to inspire you to make sure you have that vision powerfully written down.
And the vision is actually in 3 specific areas of your life. So, or 3, like really it's one big vision, but you make 3 specific goals for the next 6 months. And that 6-month horizon is very doable, very tangible, right? And session 2 is when you take that vision and break it down one tiny step at a time. And we talked to you about micro steps really being so small you cannot fail. And it's also an opportunity in session 2 to learn how to trust yourself and your inner guidance better. So you really connect to that intuitive part of you that just knows. And then, like Joanna said, 2 weeks later, another open coaching session for you to get the breakthroughs and just make sure that you're on track and you're taking those powerful action steps.
Exactly. So then next, as we see in the turquoise dots here, we've got the intercession. So it's, again, we're going into that explore your talents with Clifton Strengths. So just know that you'll be given a survey to fill out. Like, it's your personal survey, so that they can really assess your personality, who you are. And it's fascinating. They say even with the 30 whatever million people there are in Canada, that not one person will come up with the same combination of strengths. It's very fascinating. And so that will be given to you, that report, and then we can take that further in that session to really dig deeper and have that teacher really understand how we can use these talents and really expound them in our lives and own them. More importantly, just own them.
That's right.
Okay, then we go to session number 3.
Mhm.
Session number 3, that's one of my favorite ones, which is overcoming your negative beliefs, okay, and patterns, because we've now written the vision, we've now understand how to make steps at it, one step at a time, but now what might be blocking us? What is underneath there? What's in the subconscious mind that could be actually
In the way.
in the way? That one that we talked about, what's in the way is the way. We need to discover that. We need to understand what is blocking us. What are those core beliefs? Is it I'm not worthy? I'm not good enough? I'm like, why bother? This isn't going to happen for me. I can't receive. I don't deserve it. Whatever it is, or just some blocks that have been to your heart or anything. So we've got to be able to look at those and then be able to overcome them.
That's right. And then you have the second comprehensive Clifton Strengths deep dive, followed by another open coaching session to make sure that you're on track. Session 4 is all about turning the breakdowns and understanding the symptoms of your breakdown and how to turn them into breakthroughs. Again, followed by another open coaching session 2 weeks later. And then we have a phenomenal panel on breakdowns and breakthroughs with Canada's top most powerful women in the top 100. And that is such an incredible opportunity for you to really listen to other women's stories and ask questions of the top 100 and just understand what the breakdowns were in their life and how they created breakthrough. Because women really learn by listening to each other. We see ourselves in each other. Followed by session 5, which is our very special formula about success. So having focus, taking action, and then getting clarity in order to gain momentum in your life.
Right. And every one of these sessions has exercises in it.
That's right.
So
Deep.
that's what we get you to do, is really get down to the core of who you are and ask certain questions with these exercises so that you can always make sure along the way, if all of a sudden you realize, you know what, this doesn't resonate with me anymore, this vision that I wrote in January, like it's got to be bigger, or there's something different. How powerful that is, that you can actually like rip it up or just rejig it, you know what I mean? Because you want to like move in that direction that feels inspiring for
That's
you.
right.
And especially getting blocks out of the way, you may realize that there's even more for you. So there's nothing wrong with just
100%.
creating and moving, like creating a new one
That's
along
it.
the way.
Momentum, because you never know. You could be creating from your should goals. And then
Mhm.
by the time you get into session 4 and 5, you really break through the should goals and get even more clarity for yourselves,
Excellent.
which is followed by the open coaching session. And then finally, session 6, which is recognizing and owning our success. Something that took me years to learn how to do is celebrate my success wherever I am. And that is such a powerful session
Yeah.
to help us understand how far we've come so that we know what is still ahead and in the horizon.
Yeah. Pat ourselves on the back and be good at it, to really, really along the way, notice every little thing that has been a success and acknowledge it, even if it's little. Get good at that.
That's right. And session 7 is to celebrate your raw courage. So it's a celebration that we all have together. And it's a really incredible session,
Yeah.
again, that leaves you in a powerful place to know what you're creating next.
Yes. And some of the women that are in the program, that's what that session's about.
That's it.
Women that have been in the program now come forward to actually share what they got out of the program. So we'll have
breakthroughs.
certain women that are chosen, and then we have an opportunity for anyone to share in that place. Okay?
100%. And just, to let you know, around the celebrating your raw courage too, is that in the session 6, rather, recognizing and owning your success, you actually leave with a new vision even for the 6 months after. So
Mhm.
it's not just like the 6 months and then what's next, but you'll be left in that powerful place. And each one of these is actually skills. So writing a vision is a skill. Turning it into tiny little micromanageable steps is a skill. So once you learn the skills, you can continue to do this over and over and over again
Which
in
is
your
what
life.
we do
Which is
all
what
the
we do.
time.
We put
Yeah.
everything into the structure and continuously live our greatest dreams and goals.
Mhm.
And so the member price, if you're a member of the WXN, which is only, I think, $100, you get
Actually, we should ask Virginia.
Virginia. What is
Yeah,
that?
let's be
Sorry.
Yeah,
correct
it's
on that.
$150 a year.
Wow, that's
150. That's an
amazing.
amazing price for a full year membership with the Women's
Yeah.
Executive Network, let alone the things you get in Raw Courage, but you will be a member of the Women's Executive Network and have the privilege of all that they offer within that membership and getting a new network of women. That's the key here because our network really determines our net worth. So the member program price is $1,800 or 6 equal payments of $300 per month plus
Which makes
tax.
that doable.
Absolutely.
And obviously makes it way better than the non-member program.
Right. So
Because
we
you
don't
would
want the
obviously,
non-member price for
yes,
you.
it'd be
No.
worth your while to
No.
pay the extra 150
Yes.
for the membership.
Yes.
So that you get it at the 1,800. So it's a real gift there and all the things that are included. And it's starting in January to June. And we want to see you there. We would love to have you there. You've already got a head start right now with we've got some of your vision already written down because you can see what you want for yourself. That it's like now an opportunity for you to focus on you
Mhm.
and just get those juices percolating. Like if there's something that's really, we hope that has stirred you on and motivated you today and inspired you to really see what's important to you and let that really come forth. Like make sure you have a journal, make sure you start writing that down, anything else that comes up. And even just to say, I'm open. I'm open.
Mhm.
I'm open to what I want. I'm open to this new future. So then you'll be ready in January to join us. No
100%.
matter what.
We're
Put
so
that down.
excited.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a deadline to sign up? So let's ask that, Virginia. There we go.
End of December.
End of December. Okay, perfect. So
Ideally the next 2 weeks, but we have opened it up a little bit longer till the end of December.
end of
Wonderful.
December, you really want to make that commitment for yourself also because you get a large welcome box that comes to your door with
Mhm.
the workbook, with all the goodies that are in there as well. And
Some other
that's,
gifts,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So we
Mhm.
really want you to have that welcome box that's ready to go so that you're ready to start the course in January with us. We are so excited.
Mhm.
Excellent. So we'd love
Okay.
to hear from you. You can take yourselves off mute. Let us know what you got from this session and what you think, or if you have any questions, you can take yourselves right off mute and
If there's
let's,
anything you want to say, or even just put
yeah.
it in the chat, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here no matter what.
Yes, absolutely. We
Mhm.
really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
and
so
presence.
hopefully you, even at the end of this workshop, that you can even just say how you feel. You know, if there's
One
one thing
word.
you're left, one word with how you feel, that's also wonderful.
Thank
Okay,
you.
and
Oh, good.
otherwise,
Grateful.
oh,
Perfect.
wonderful. Good, good, good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
So we look forward to seeing you. We hope you enjoyed it today. We hope you got something really powerful for yourself. And so we reach out to WXN. They're there to support you in every way. So otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in January.
That's right. We look forward to it.
Mhm.
Can't wait. Have a wonderful end to your year, and may 2025 be your best year. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.